Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Ryu here. I know I haven't done an update video in a while, and I do apologize about that. I know I actually put that video up about the 9-year-old boy, and I'm gonna actually go into more detail about that. But I thought I would just talk about what's been going on with me. If you're new to my channel and you just thank you very much for that. If you just want to know what's going on with me, I'm gonna start off with work and employees and stuff like that and everything though. The economy I know for right now is still pretty bad, so I haven't really been able to get myself another job for right now. I have been applying for things left and right nonstop. I have been getting a lot of emails from people, most of them being the lovely Indian recruiters that I happen to tell my friends online about, and they happen to joke on me about all the time when I get up and talk to them about that. Yeah. So, but most time, I mean, but you know, but it's like a lot of times I never really hear anything back from anybody. So most times it's kind of like, well, either I wasn't a good candidate, or either they just wanted to hire somebody who already had training for the position, or like a lot there was actually a lot of jobs that I put in that I called somebody back for, and they told me they were frozen for right now, or basically meaning that they're on hold until the manager says that, you know, they have the money, the resources, and the go ahead to go on ahead on and move forward. I did actually have a couple of interviews, and they said, I mean, like I think a couple of interviews like last week, and I had one yesterday, and I was gonna make this update video yesterday, but after hearing about the 9-year-old boy, I was like, I mean, I got a guy, I was like, nah, because I'm too. It's like, it's like a part of me was mad. It's like a part of me was kind of like, really, this is what, huh? And then a part of me was like, I'm just like, really, it's like, it's sad when you hear about, you know, someone lost their life, but then when you hear about someone lost their life over a video game controller, you know, and then, you know, you kind of wonder like where the parents were on that one. You know, it does. It does make you like be like disappointed at people, but at the same time you're agitated at the same time, because you kind of sit here going, what's going on? But like I said for the whole job thing, mostly, like I said, I've heard from people, but they said they'll get back with me. I know one guy. He basically said that the guy I interviewed with yesterday on the phone, he got up and he was like, he had to talk to a few more people. He had a few more interviews that he had to talk to, and he would get back with me, or somebody would get back with me sometime this week for everything else, and then the position was probably start up next Monday. So today's Tuesday, so I haven't heard, because like I said, I had that interview yesterday, so today's Tuesday, and I haven't heard anything else. So we'll just see how that goes for right now, and we'll see how everything else is. But I mean, for right now, I'm just, you know, once again trying to hang in there and do what I can. Other than that with me, I have actually just been, you know, most of the time just playing games and not really watching that much anime. I know like a bunch of games I have finished. One of them was the second chapter of Legendary Heroes Trails of Cold Steel, or Trails of Cold Steel Chapter 2. If you never played, like I said, if you never played the Legendary Hero series and you are a JRPG player, I highly suggest actually picking up Legendary Heroes, the Legendary Heroes series itself. Start off with if you're on Steam, I would say start off with Trails in the Sky, and then move up to Trails of Cold Steel. Or if you really want to, just start off with Trails of Cold Steel Chapter 1 and then play Trails of Cold Steel Chapter 2. It is like the best experience of all time. It has. The Legendary Hero series has always been the one series. It's always been like super long. You're basically putting in about 40 plus hours for every single solitary game. Every game is 40 plus hours. But the one thing about it is, though, the experience you get when you actually play through and you finish it, it's amazing, because once you finish it, you want to play the next game in the series. Like you immediately are like, okay, I want to play 3. I want to play like for right now, like I really just want to play Trails of Cold Steel Chapter 3. The only problem is, though, is that Trails of Cold Steel Chapter 3 is only released in Japan on PS4, and I haven't heard any translations. I mean, I haven't seen anything about if there was gonna be any English translations or not for right now for that. And then 40 was telling me about there was actually supposed to be a Trails of Cold Steel Chapter 4, which I sat here like, oh, so hopefully, I mean, I don't know if like if Chapter 4 is in development, or maybe maybe when Chapter 4 gets released in Japan, Chapter 3 will be released in America, but we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, I do really want to really play through Trails of Cold Steel. The only other game I've barely been playing for right now, besides playing like Golden Sun, Dark Dawn, or Golden Sun 3, which is really really fun. I've been playing it off and on. I've mostly just been on Steam mostly, but the other game I've been playing is Cyber Dimension, for Goddesses Online, which is a game I know is released. I think it's being released I think it's on PS4 and Steam. Cyber Dimension is a really funny game, really really funny. What makes that game funny is Vert. Vert, if I didn't say this before, like I said, Vert makes that game hilarious. Is I don't know what, because usually in hyperdimension games, Vert's usually the big sister type. She's usually the person who's always like, well, I'm here, I'm here to protect you. I'm the big sister. But in this game, they make her into like the pervy person of the group. So I mean, she's always trying like to flirt with the little sisters, like the CPU candidates, and she's flirting with one of the NPCs non-stop all the time, and she's always flirting with somebody. So it's like I said, it's a really hilarious and interesting game to play through. And I mean for right now, the only thing I know I gotta do is I just gotta finish Guild Quest 7, which I've been working on sort of kind of on and off a little bit, and Guild Quest 8, and that's really just it. Besides the Guild Quest 7, Guild Quest 8, and the multiplayer version, that's it. But the only thing about it was that you get in-game credits when you finish rank 6, which is kind of a spoiler there, but you get in-game credits when you finish rank 6. But at the same time, there's still 7 and 8 in the multiplayer. So basically, I'm probably thinking it's probably like an extra boss, or for what I noticed here though, is some of the boss enemies, they hit a little bit harder now on rank 7 than they did before. So I mean maybe it's just me, or maybe it's just maybe I'm sitting here going like, okay, I know this boss didn't hit with this much damage in the past, or he wasn't this fast before, but now he's like wrecking me now for some reason, and I know I beat him badly before. Why is he so strong now? What's going on? I'm confused. So, but that's just about it there. I mean, the only other game I really have left to finish playing out of everything here though is really just Golden Sun 3 or Golden Sun Dark Dawn, and that's it. I've never played Golden Sun just because I've always tried to emulate it, and for some reason Desume doesn't like Golden Sun 3, because every time you try to download it, the sound is horrible. Like I could probably I can emulate it, but if I played it, it'll be a game with no sound, and I've already done that with Prince of Persia, since Prince of Persia doesn't like the Virtual Boy Advance emulator, but it likes BGB, which doesn't really make a lick of sense. So I'm sure it's probably probably got like change some settings on the emulation or something, and that's about it there. So but like I said before, that's basically just been what's been going on with me. I've just been mostly just trying just to try not to worry about stuff, about the whole job thing, just trying to stay happy. But it's like it's kind of like basically it's like every time I hear about something, like most of the most things I heard about from right now here was like I start off like the small thing and move up. Like one thing I heard about like the self-driving car ran over somebody, and I basically was like, well, I'm not surprised, because somebody decided to make a self-driving car, and they thought they tested it probably 100%, and then they realized, oops, it didn't stop, and it ran over somebody. So yeah, that's not all that shocking to me all that much. And then then you hear about all the gun shootings going on in different schools, and then that's kind of that's kind of like, what the heck is going on at these schools nowadays? And then most then it's like the number one thing that still made me shake my head. Even though I still say I do agree with Izzy and Big to actually be like, they actually sit down here and be like, you should be angry and upset at the parents for this. I still feel kind of bad at the same time here though, because at the same, it's about the 9-year-old boy who shot his 13-year-old sister, because I basically am thinking to myself, like, well, out of everything you could have done, little boy, you could have at least, gotten up and told your parents or said something to somebody else. You basically reached for a gun that you knew was in, that you knew where it was in I think it was the cabinet or the drawer or something. You knew how to operate it, and then at 9 years old, you knew how to operate a pistol, and then you walk over and then you shoot your sister in the head, and then you kill a family member. That is just like, it's like that still shocks the crap out of me. But at the same time, I also sat down here like, it's like as soon as my friend told me that yesterday, as soon as like a friend of mine told me that yesterday, and as soon as I read about it, and as soon as I actually got up and I actually said, I'm gonna put a video up about this, the whole entire time the only thing I could just do is shake my head and basically just be like, really? Like, what in the world is the world coming to nowadays? The thing what happened was, people always get up and going like, it's the game's fault. That's always something that people have been saying all the time when it comes to games and violence and stuff like that all the time. It's the game's fault. It's never the person who actually did the violence his fault. It's the video game that he played. Oh yeah, that's the problem. That's the main problem about it. Oh yeah, it's never the person. It's the video game. When it comes to that, but that's the only thing about it. To me, I basically thought, that's just like, even though, yeah, you could say negligence. At the same time, that's all you can really just do is just shake your head to, and that's about it. And that's all you can really just do, to shake your head, and that's all. But at the same, at the same time, I wish there was like more I could say or do for right now about that, but there's really not. So, but anyway, but other than that, oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot. There was one more thing too. Besides that, also in Texas, also I thought I'd remind anybody about this. If you get a weird package in your mail, you don't know who it is from, please make sure you call the police, because in Texas, I don't know if anybody heard about this, there's actually a case of bombings inside of packages from people, from somebody. I don't know who's setting the bombs up or anything, but just thought I would just say be careful with that, because somebody's setting bombs up in boxes and sending them to people, and people opening them and boom. So just thought I would just say be careful about that, because I heard about that too. And I basically, and once again, I basically just, like every time I hear about that, something bad happened in the world, all I can do is just shake my head. That's all I can do, is just sit down here, shake my head, and just be like, really, this is what we come to now. It's like what happened. It's like what happened to all of us. What happened to the whole entire world, like getting together and us being friends and trying to strengthen our relationship with one another. Why why we gotta have, why we have to have all this hate? Why we gotta have all this violence? Why we gotta have all this drama for? Why we gotta have all this stuff for? I don't really see a reason for it, but I'm sure somebody else probably does. But anyway, like I said before, I do apologize for bringing up all the negative things. I know I'm sorry if anybody basically read about the 9-year-old boy, and they basically were like, why did you bring this up to me for? Because I was happy till you brought this up, and now I'm depressed or angry or something now. But like I said before, if you see the article, like I've done it, and I made sure I put the link to it in the description, and I also put the link for Izzy's, either like a description or in the chat box below, in the discussion box below, and I'll put the link to Izzy's link as well, so anybody else can see about it. Please, like I said before, just share this on Facebook, share this on Twitter, let people know. Just please stay safe out there, and please, let's just stop the craziness, let's stop the insanity, and let's all just be friends. That's all I'm gonna say for right now. Just please, just all try to be friends for right now. Other than that, that's about it. So hopefully today I won't get any more phone calls from many people, which I'm sure that's probably going to be lacking of some crap, because I'm sure I am, and hopefully I'll stop worrying about the whole job thing, how the economy is right now, and because I keep worrying about that all the time, and hopefully we'll just see what happens for right now. That's about it there. So other than that, hope everybody's hopefully trying to have a good day today, or just trying to do what they can to move forward. And I'll talk to you about another time then. This is Ryu here. Later.